I wasn't going to make this video at first because I'm ready to just stick 2020 in the dumpster and set it on fire. However, I had filmed a different video that wasn't really end of the year related, but it was just a video I wanted to film, and then I accidentally threw the footage away. So I'm going to redo that video for January, and in the meantime, we're going to talk about how I did on my 2020 goals. Hi everybody, I used the Cultivate What Matters power sheets. I have used them now for 2 full years running, although this year is maybe 3 years running. I can't remember how many. Did I use them in 2018? Maybe. I don't. My brain is mush at this point because I'm a mom of teenagers and I'm in kidney failure. However, I've been using the Cultivate What Matters power sheets to goal set and plan out my goals, etc., for a couple years now. And this year I used them, but there was a big chunk of the year where I didn't even look at them because I was going into kidney failure. COVID-19 was wrecking me, sheltering in place, cabin fever, all of those things. But I did revisit them in the summer and kind of maybe it was like a little late in the summer, it was a live stream where we kind of massaged them into something new. So today what I want to do is I want to go through these goals. I want to talk about them, both the original version of the goal and then the version from the summer, and see how I did on them. I've already put out my video of 2021 goals because, like I said in the introduction, I actually had no plans of making this. Goal number 1, to grow my community to 100K. That didn't happen. I didn't grow as fast as I've grown in other years, in big part because there was at least 1 month where I didn't publish videos at all because of how bad I was feeling. There were a few months where all I did were live streams, and while I love doing them and they're great for my community, they're not the videos that bring in the most new viewers, which then become subscribers. I never expected to grow that fast. This was a stretch goal. I like sassy, cussing personality. I tend to not pick up subscribers very fast in the community that I'm in, planners and bullet journaling and all that. Although the people that do subscribe to my channel, you know who you are, they tend to stick around. So yeah, no, that didn't happen. Nope. But my revised version of the goal was to finish the year with a strong, vibrant community. Growing and strengthening my community is part of my 2021 goals. I feel like there has been a lot of real bonding within this community as a whole, especially in the last few months, doing weekly live streams of my bullet journal and planner setups, having people have real conversations in the comments. It's just, it's great. And I am thrilled with the shape that my community has taken. Our community has taken this year. The real kind of nut in the whole thing is the auxiliary communities off of YouTube. My Discord, I started it and then I kind of stopped going into it mostly because I was overwhelmed, and I love the conversations that happen in there, and Jesse's actually had fun in there, but I'd like to be more active there. And then the Facebook group had to get turned off for a little while because of some fallout after the election, mostly because I realized I did not give it enough attention when it came to setting clear expectations, both in the group and also for the people who are helping me moderate. Not that the people who've helped me moderate suck. They're fabulous. I'm just being kind of terrible in not giving them more tools to be able to like put the hammer down and feel like I'm backing them up even without even having to ask me. So I am definitely focusing on community in 2021. It is it's in the same spot on my power sheets, the first goal. It's a big thing for me. So if I was going to grade myself, if I'm going to give myself a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a meh, I'm going to give myself a thumbs up for the finishing the year with a strong, vibrant community, not for the 100K subscribers. There were some hiccups, but overall, I achieved that goal. Fuck yeah. Goal number 2, ensure financial stability by building income, savings, and a working budget. Some of these things happened and some of them didn't. Jesse and I have been able to build up our savings this year, and he at least has been handling the money great, but I did not achieve my goal of becoming more involved in the process and doing like an actual budget. And my building income didn't really happen this year. I did write my second book, but a lot of the other income streams that I had been nurturing kind of went stagnant because of both my kidney failure and COVID. Like a lot of the goals in here, the excuse is going to be kidney failure and COVID. Although, to be fair, there is some other excuses that might pop up along the way that are a little less illness related. So when I revisited this in the summer, I said, don't run out of money, man. Remember, quarterly taxes are due on January 15th. And I haven't run out of money, and I should be able to pay my quarterly taxes. I'm not ending the year in as comfortable of a spot as I did last year when it comes to my business, but I can still pay my taxes and still pay the bills I have to pay. So that's good, right? Thumbs up? I guess it would give it like a meh. This would be my meh for both of those goals. Oh my god, I have so many things paper clipped in here. I really like the new layout of the power sheets. These paper clips are not a thing in the new power sheets. Goal number 3, to build better boundaries around my time and energy, and I actually did that. Big thumbs up to that goal. I didn't even have to do a second goal or like revise it. The biggest reason I set this goal was around volunteering outside of the house, church specifically, also stuff with my kids' school, but church was the big one. I've served as president of the board of my congregation. It's been a very busy several years, and this year I didn't have the energy for it, like at all. I can't take full credit for achieving this goal. Many of my friends, my church-going friends, recognize that I did not have the energy or the ability to stay with the things, and so they started taking things off my plate for me because they all know that I am terrible at saying no. But by doing that, it became easier for me to let go of the last couple of things that I still had, which I did. I'm thumbs upping this to the place where my goal that I set, my like revising goal, was the boundary I am setting now is calling this goal done and not setting a new one. That is the boundary I set. So yeah, I feel good about it. Now, the real question is, and I didn't actually make this a part of my new power sheets because, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm still sick. Like, that hasn't changed. When I went, and kidney failure is not like a one and done kind of situation. Things got bad this year and they are continuing to get worse. So I am just going to continue not taking on extra things outside of the stuff that I have to, like having to do with my kids and work and, you know, whatever. My biggest thing this year is asking for help. If setting boundaries has been difficult for me, asking for help is also difficult for me, and so that's what shows up in my power sheets this year. Goal number 4, develop and nurture routines in all areas of my life. I'm gonna give it a this because I did a great job with this for the first chunk of the year, and then, let's hear it, COVID and kidney failure ate my routines. The reason I'm not giving it a thumbs down is because in the last couple of months, as I have been trying to work towards taking a break, like part of the reason you're going to see other videos with me wearing the same shirt is because I'm filming a few videos on the same day so I can take a break, and I'm not changing my clothes because I don't really want to. I'm lazy right now. I've gotten into more routine in the last couple of months, specifically because I've had so much to like kind of think about and take care of. Yeah, it's kind of like a meh sort of goal, but it is going to reappear on my power sheets, but under a different kind of guise for 2021. I did reimagine this goal, but I actually reimagined it to blend in with one of my other goals, and so when we get to goal number 6, that's when we'll talk about the reimagined version, the thick goal. Oh, goal number 5, prioritize quality time both as a family and as a couple. We've spent a lot of quantity time together. As a matter of fact, for part of the year, I had my kids with me for 4 months straight, and I have been sharing 50-50 custody with them for 10 years now. Because Jesse and I are both vulnerable. He's type 1 diabetic, and I, aforementioned so many times, kidney disease. My ex-husband and my kid's stepmom, he works for Trader Joe's and she works in a doctor's office. They wanted to protect us, especially when COVID first broke out, so they sacrificed their time with the kids so that we could be safe. But even with all that time, no, I don't feel like we spent a lot of quality time. That's why I kind of crossed that goal out, because it almost felt like the monkey's paw, where you get what you wished for, but not how you wished for it, in a kind of a shitty way. So that really sort of felt like a terrible, not a goal, but like it just felt like bad juju. Then we have my revised goal, which was do what we can to be able to safely travel to Oregon for Christmas. It is the 23rd. We would have been in Oregon right now had we made that trip, but when the cases surged, we just did not feel comfortable doing it, and we're all super bummed out, but we're also all extremely understanding of why it happened. So like the kids and I and Jess, like we're all disappointed, but we all recognize that we will go again. We would rather not put Jess and I at risk, put the kids at risk, or put my immunocompromised sister at risk. So this is a big thumbs down, with the caveat that, believe me, I'm so glad to have spent time with my family. The spirit of this goal, it didn't happen. Goal number 6, tend to the body and spirit I have right now as kindly as I can. You know, mid-year, I don't think I gave myself a very good, like, progress for this in terms of, like, the items on the list. But looking back at the year as a whole, yeah, I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up on that one. And I think the reason that I'm thinking that I achieved this goal was I learned to be okay with letting Jesse do things. Like I still struggle with it a little bit, but I've gotten much better at letting Jesse help me when I need it, when it comes to dropping things and having him pick them up. If you've never been at all physically impaired, and my impairment comes from the fact that I have gigantic, like boulder, young baby-sized kidneys inside of me that are very cystic. And if I bend or turn wrong, I can burst a cyst, which can put me into a kidney infection, which could put me into dialysis, which I'm still avoiding at this point. If you've never been mobility impaired before, and I only have a taste of what that's like. I know so many of you have even more struggles with mobility, but if you've ever been that kind of impaired and you're not used to it and you need help and you're someone who struggles as hard with asking for help as I do, it can be a lot to start being humble enough to let somebody help you, letting go of your pride enough to let somebody help you, to recognize that it's not about being prideful. It's about taking care of yourself. It's still a struggle for me, and it's something that I'm going to be working on this year, but I have made enormous strides, especially in the last 4 or 5 months. Asking for help from him or letting him help me when he offers, of taking a break. I did Vlogmas, and I'm in the middle of that now, and I did Vlogtober, and both times there were times where I had to just say, I'm not making a video today, I am in too much pain, or I'm not making a video today, I need to be mom right now. And I'm one of those people who holds myself to very high expectations, and when I have to not do something I set out to do because I have to do something else, there's a part of me that is like hot, that I can't do them both at the same time. And the realization that I shouldn't even be doing anything sometimes, and when I am, I should be focusing on one thing at a time, and actually following through on that has been pretty major for me this year. So I would absolutely give myself a thumbs up on this goal. However, I did revise it at the midpoint of the year. The thick goal was to take steps every day to towards treating yourself kindly. This was the mixture of the routines in my life and the treating my body and my mind kindly, all of these things together just to be nice to myself. And again, I feel like I can give myself a thumbs up on that. One area where I have been very careful with myself has been in the evenings. Now, I know I say that I go to bed early, like I'm not asleep, but I'm in bed early because of how much pain I'm in. But not feeling guilty about that and allowing myself to like read a book that I really love or watch The Crown or something, to realize that it is okay. I don't need to lay here in like my world of self-pity and pain. Like I've taken the self-pity a little bit out of it. There's nothing wrong with self-pity. Sometimes self-pity is a legit thing, but for me, it was about recognizing that what I was doing was the best thing I could be doing at that moment. The kindest thing I could be doing for myself is to be the most comfortable I can in my world of pain. It seems like a small thing, but for me, it was a massive milestone. So yeah. I'll give my thick thumbs up. Although, like I said, this will be something I continue to work on in 2021 in different ways. Goal number 7. The goal that 2020 took a fat, steaming deuce upon. Step into more local connections, both work and personal, and develop them. My answer to that mid-year was, I don't even know if you can see that, but it says, not today, Satan. I even joined the local artists association. The first meeting I was going to get to make it to was canceled because of COVID. It's not that I wasn't trying to be a good friend, or maybe I should have been a better friend. I'm saying a thumbs down, and I'm going to say my thumbs down honestly. I'm going to be honest with my thumbs down. A big chunk of it was that the efforts I was making were negated by COVID. However, there were opportunities where I could have done things via Zoom, conference call. I was just too exhausted to, and it was antisocial enough to not want to be on more Zoom calls than the ones I already have. The ones I have, I'm actually really happy with. I didn't want to add more to the mix, so some of it might have just been me fighting against the very concept of this goal, but this just was not the year for that goal to be. And my last goal, goal number 8, craft a home environment we are proud of. So I'm gonna give this one a meh. And it's not because we haven't done things around the house that I've been happy with. We have done things around the house that I've been happy with. There were some things like working on the yard, as an example. We went into that with an idea of what we thought it might cost based on what we had talked to some people about. And then when we actually started pricing things, the cost was way bigger than what we actually could even feasibly afford. In the realm of that, chalk that up to some bad research. But we did a lot of small things. But when I revisited these, I was feeling kind of bad about it because there were things we wanted to do, and there were so many people that were like redoing their kitchens and painting all the walls in their house, project after project, when COVID started. And like I said, I wasn't feeling great. I was going into kidney failure when COVID started. So I revised it with, don't worry about what other people are doing. Any progress is progress. And I'm actually feeling really good about that. I've done little tiny things here and there to tweak the house, like to tweak how it is. And we actually got the majority of the garage cleaned out. Still needs some more work because it's a garage. It's never ending. In California, you don't park in the garage. You park your shit in the garage. But we got it cleaned up enough that Jesse was able to move his work from home office out into the garage so that his booming Zoom voice did not interrupt me working or the kids on their virtual classes in their rooms. And that itself was a huge achievement for us. So once I got to the point where that was, you know, a thing, and I wasn't feeling bad about the things other people were doing in their houses, then yeah, I'll give myself a thumbs up. The original spirit and the things I wanted to do on the goal, no. Only a few of those happened, so that would be a meh. But then once I revisited it, it kind of went like meow, like a little bit of a stiffy. Now I say I want to put it in the dumpster fire, but when I look at my goals, I did set out to do a lot of the things I wanted to do, but they didn't look the way I thought that they would look. I'm sure we all have those things in mind. So my word of the year for 2020, which you can't really see because I have the fucking, it's all jacked up from this janky wire coil, which is my least favorite thing about these power sheets, but it was become. I wanted to come into being. I kind of did, but again, not the way I was expecting. I had all of these big, exciting plans, and I was ready to like rear into them, and then I got the double whammy of sheltering in place cabin fever with my family in a house with no privacy, and starting to go into kidney failure. Something I knew was coming, but I was kind of hovering around for so long that part of me was able to like sort of pretend like it didn't exist. So I did become something, but what I became was more aware of my limitations and more forgiving of those limitations. And so this year, my word of the year is care. The reason I'm saying all these things is because that video is already out. Like, these are in the wrong fucking order, but that's just how it goes. I have a lot of ideas about caring for my community and caring for my family and caring for other people and places and blah, blah, blah. But I also have to care for myself. And the care for myself is not take a bubble bath or, you know, fucking have an ice cream sundae. Like, that's not the kind of self-care I mean. I'm talking about the kind of self-care that is when Jesse says, "Can I help you?" when I drop one of my pills on the floor at night, I say yes, as opposed to no, I got it, and then hurt myself. And that's what I'm going to continue to work on this next year. So 2020, you might have sucked ass, but you weren't entirely fruitless. So maybe I should stop talking shit on you. But let's be real. If there is one thing that I don't need to become, because I always will be, it's snarky. And 2020, I have so much snark for you. 2021, fingers crossed, you don't suck quite as bad. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is something that you came out of 2020 with that you weren't expecting? Not something terrible, not something awful, something that means something to you, or that you were surprised by, or that you were happy about. Like something that you came out of 2020 with that you weren't expecting, that only this year could have given you. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.